Hey guys, I'm Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer. I review music, books, and movies, and today I'm going to be uploading my first video. And as most of you already know, Halloween is coming up. In honor of this, here's the top 10 underrated Halloween songs, in my opinion. Keep in mind that these songs are underrated, meaning no Ghostbusters theme, no Monster Mash, no This Is Halloween, and no Thriller. And this is just the songs that are not as many people know about, but should. I'll be ranking these songs in order of how underrated they are, how much they capture the Halloween spirit, and personal enjoyment. Without further ado, let's dive into our number 10. For those of you who don't know, Japan has these things called Vocaloids, which are used to make songs. I'm not sure how they work exactly, but they all have names such as Hatsune Miku, who's the most famous one. What I do know is that they have made some great songs, including this song, Splatter Party, which is about a deranged serial killer cutting up victims with a chainsaw. What I love about it is the catchy melody and playful childish tone, which honestly makes it even more creepy. The song is entirely in Japanese, so I hope my English-speaking audience doesn't mind. And if not, check this out. On to number 9.
Taking bomb in the glimmer on this tainted moonlight. Death approaches on this night. For the animal soulless mind.
Disturbed is one of those bands that got me into rock other than just the classic rock my parents were listening to. This song in particular is about a werewolf. Specifically, it details its transformation from human to werewolf with some pretty ominous guitars behind it. All of this is helped by David Draymond's gorgeous yet creepy voice. Now on to number 8.
She's a vampire. She's a vampire. Loving the curtains of the night. She knows no wrong or right.
From a song about werewolves, we now have to a song about vampires. With this next song is another symphonic metal song. It has a dark, creepy guitar riff and lyrics describing a vampire woman. In the final verse, the person the narrator is talking to is given a choice: either be immortal and never see the sun again, or stay alive. Now for number 7. Here we have the only instrumental track on this list. It's from a genre called synthwave and contains elements of 80s horror movie soundtracks. Sure, it's catchy, but the keyboards creep me out a little. It's the kind of music that's both for dancing and for H.P. Lovecraft movie montages. And on to number 6.
Well, you can knock on that wood, but it won't do you no good. 'Cause all of my heroes are dead in Hollywood. It's all dead in Hollywood.
Now we get to the first horror punk song on this list, and it's a case where there are a number of songs that I could have picked, but I went with this one because it has so many classic horror flicks, from Dracula and Frankenstein to Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's told from the perspective of a guy who idolizes all these monsters even though they're all dead in Hollywood. That, combined with the chugging riffs and Wednesday 13's throaty whisper, creates a dark, twisted atmosphere. If you're a horror fan, definitely check this one out. Next.
This is the night of the werewolves, run for your life. This is the night, never get out alive. This is the night of the werewolves, run for your life. This is the night, never get out alive.
Once again, this is a case where there are many songs that I could have picked, but I went with this one, mainly because it's the first song I ever discovered from Powerwolf. It starts off slow with a creepy guitar riff and soft vocals.
When I'm crawling through the night, God and Satan by my side, and I'm haunted in the dark.
Then it explodes, and the fast guitar and drums, hey, my cat decided to join me. Or my grandma's cat, anyway. And then it explodes, and the fast guitar and drums make me feel like I'm being chased by a werewolf. And appropriate, considering that's what the song is actually about, it also helps that these guys' vocalist is from Romania, meaning that my American brain thinks he sounds like Count Dracula. On to number 4. This is another one of those songs that you might want to avoid if you don't like screaming. It's also another song that paints Halloween as evil, even although there are references to jack-o'-lanterns. In addition to the screaming, it also contains melodic guitar riffs and heavy drumming. If you're a fan of heavier music but still like a little melody, this is the song for you. Next.
The bride will lure you, cook you, eat you. Your dear innocence spoiled to feed the evil in need of fear burning.
Ah yes, more symphonic metal. This one is about childhood nightmares and contains everything from an evil circus to witches.
The bride will lure you, cook you, eat you. Your dear innocence spoiled to feed the evil in need of fear.
To all sorts of evil creatures.
Horde of spiders, claws and tentacles, laughing harpies with their talons, raping Shakespeare's poets.
Musically, it's huge and theatrical. I can picture this being used in a movie. It's one of the most twisted songs in symphonic metal, and yet... This is one of symphonic metal groups Amberian Dawn's lesser-known songs. And that's a shame because it's one of the most creative songs I've ever heard. It sounds like pure classical most of the way through, even then there's a guitar solo. Lyrically, it tells the story of a group of skeletons rising from the grave, not to terrorize people, but to dance. My favorite line is this one.
We think death is for eternity.
someone who fears death, this lyric makes me comforted, even though I know it's just fantasy. The song itself is just beautiful, and I recommend it to anyone. Our number 1 is coming up, but first, some honorable mentions.
Can you take this break? Will it fill our hearts with thoughts of endless night? Time, sky. Can you take this fight? Will it wash away that shepherd feeling?
I know a lot of emos will be furious with me for not putting this in the top 10 proper, but hear me out. This is one of the most popular songs by My Chemical Romance, who are a pretty well-known band. So while it is underrated in the sense that it's not being played on the radio every October, it still is not nearly as underrated as all the other songs on this list. Still, it's a great song with a dark atmosphere, a creepy guitar riff, and lyrics about vampires trying not to get killed by humans. My only problem is it drags on a bit long. Next.
Welcome to the lower birth, the greatest show on earth. We appear without a sound, the darkest show around. We will leave you in a daze, madness, murder, dismay. We will disappear at night with blood on the concrete.
This song is just fun, especially with the creepy circus aesthetic. It's one of the very few songs that's able to make a chorus of people singing la 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 sound like a demonic chant. And it has great lyrics inspired by Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury, a book that I have not read but should. It's insanely catchy, and it's the only reason it's not making the list is that it has 1 million views on YouTube. And speaking of dark cabaret,
Fangs were flying, capes were torn. Hell hath no fury like a vampire scorn. Number 1 rule in this game: never call him by his real name. Wigs were pulled, top hats were crushed by pointy boots in a rush. And Boris at the bar orders a bud and says it's just another night at the Vampire Club.
here we have a song showcasing the funnier side of Halloween. It tells the story of a bunch of kids starting a vampire club, and then a fight breaking out when the pirates show up and call one of the guys by his real name. It's hilarious, and combined with an eerie guitar riff and catchy melody, it makes for quite a fun song. I should also mention that there's another version of the song that makes fun of Twilight, so check both versions out. Next. Most people think of Powerwolf when they think of werewolves and power metal. That doesn't mean that Powerwolf is the only one combining these two things, though, and the guys from Sonata Arctica do a pretty good job of it. And this song is an epic power metal track that tells about a guy turning into a werewolf and killing his girlfriend who is too terrified to run away. It's surprisingly scary and tragic for such a happy-sounding song. Next. How can I leave this off the list? It's an underground classic. It's one of those songs that paint Halloween as evil, with references to burning bodies and children dying. What really makes me love this song is the punk energy, the loud guitar, and the catchy melody. Pretty fun for such a dark song. Next.
The little goose is dead. dead.
This next song is really weird and also one of my uncle's favorites. It's a gothic rock classic about Bela Lugosi, an actor most famous for playing Dracula. The song itself really is unique, being over 9 minutes long and having a vocalist who sounds like a vampire, not to mention a lot of instrumental switch-ups. If you don't mind long songs, check this out. Here we have another werewolf song, this time from Romanian symphonic metal band Magica. This one is about a guy who doesn't want to be a werewolf because he doesn't want to kill, but he can't help it. The vocals on this track are beautiful, as usual with symphonic metal, and the melody is a lot of fun to sing along to. Next. If you don't like screaming, I'd stay away from this one. It's a metalcore song with some beautiful keyboards reminiscent of gothic metal. Lyrically, it tells the story of a group of vampires rising from their graves on Halloween to terrorize people. And speaking of vampires and metalcore, I know Ice Nine Kills has plenty of songs that could fit this spot, but I went with this one about Bram Stoker's Dracula. It compares a vampire's bite to sex repeatedly and combines chugging guitars and keyboards. Like most Ice Nine Kills songs, it has a catchy chorus between some pretty good scream vocals. Next.
Just this once, just for now. You can be anything in the world, darling, don't you start to scream. It doesn't mean anything. It's make-believe.
These guys are one of my favorite bands, so I couldn't leave this off the list. Basically, it's about how on Halloween you can be whatever you want, but the rest of the year you're stuck being yourself. It shows the sad side of Halloween that I think we need more of. Now for number 1.
In the streets of Halloween, there's something going on. No way to escape the paranoia. In the streets of Halloween, the spirits will arise. Make your choice in terror paradise.
Could it be anything else? This is a 13-minute epic of a song, and it's full of instrumental switch-ups. As long as a song should be. As a long song should be, I mean. It tells the story of a kids going out to trick-or-treat, meanwhile spirits are rising from the grave and attacking them. Pretty typical, but the song and band name alone were enough to bring it up to number 1. So yeah, that was my list. Leave your own list in the comment section below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'm Morgan, the Rebellious Reviewer, and I'm out.